Hi all, thanks for joining me. I am excited to show you today some watercolor mixing techniques. And first I'd like to show you a painting that I recently painted out of a type of watercolor called gouache. It's more like a tempera paint. It's less see-through, more transparent. So this is that painting out of gouache, and I basically was just enjoying coming up with different colors and seeing what they looked like next to each other. So that's an example of experimenting and playing, and then maybe you like what you make, maybe you don't, but you learn along the way. This is the gouache that I was just talking about. Oops, probably could flip the screen, but it's in little baby food jars because I mixed it up with some water. So that's gouache, Gouache, funny name. And this is my watercolor box, which has some things of gouache in it, but also watercolors like I'm going to show you today, which is what we have at school, basically a semi-moist watercolor. They're called a pan of watercolor. Watercolor also comes in tubes, which is a very concentrated color, and that's fun to play with. It's more expensive because the colors are really strong. Here's an example of playing around with watercolors as well. This is that tube watercolor. I used thick watercolor paper, which absorbs the color and allows it to sort of flow together. Here's an example of a watercolor painting that I made. I actually turned it into my phone case. I just popped it in underneath the clear case. And then we're going to be looking at the color wheel now. So the primary colors, what are they? They're red, yellow, and blue, and these three colors make up the rest of them, plus black and white if you're using those. So we're going to do some blending with the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, as well as creating the secondary colors through those primary green, which is blue and yellow, make green. We're going to make some violet, blue and red, and the last combination, we're going to make orange with red and yellow. You may want a coffee filter. That's fun to paint on. You're going to want some white paper. That shows the colors best. If you have one that's thicker, like I sent out to folks, it's 90 pound. It's a nice thick white paper. You can also paint on paper towel if you have a thick paper towel. And if you have watercolor paper, this is an example of watercolor paper. That's a painting that I did too. Here we go. Oh, don't forget the brushes. If you have whatever soft brush you have will work, and floppy. That's brand new, obviously. Both work fine, but this one has yellow. I'm going to start with yellow because that's the lightest, and my water is still going to be pretty clean. The more you swish, the more you get. You can add water right to the paper. Yellow plus red. And just let it blend on the side. Just washed my brush again. And get more it's blending right through. This is a fun thing to try when it's very wet like that. Take a pinch of salt and let it absorb. Wait until it dries and then wipe it off. Let's try yellow plus blue. Yellow plus blue makes green. I like leaving a little of each color. Let's go with red. Blue. Next one is purple. Let's try purple and red.